Okay, let's start with a scenario, a weird one. Imagine you're holding I don't know, a vitamin capsule. You put it on a scale, and, scientifically that it weighs 450 milligrams. It's real.
It's physically there?
It's
Ah.
physical.
Hmm.
But then you look at the label, and legally, according to that label, that capsule contains 0 milligrams of the very thing you're trying to avoid.
It sounds like a joke, doesn't it? It's this bizarre paradox where corporate paperwork just completely overrides physical reality. And look, this is not a mistake. It's not a glitch.
No, it's a strategy.
It is a highly effective strategy, and it highlights this massive regulatory gap that companies just, well, they drive a truck right through it.
This is what we're calling the 0 milligram lie. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We are jumping right into the world of, let's be honest, legal food deception.
We're talking about the rounding rule, the almost criminal complexity of the language used for sugar.
And some chemicals that are just shocking. We're talking petrochemicals that are deliberately classified so they're completely out of your sight. We're going to unpack this whole game of nutritional hide and seek.
So let's start with the most infuriating trick.
Right.
The one that makes that 450 milligram scoop legally non-existent. It's called the rounding rule.
The audacity of this rule is what really got me. So how does it work?
It's frustratingly simple. If a certain ingredient is below a certain threshold specifically, less than 500 milligrams per serving size companies have the legal right to just round that number down to 0 on the nutrition facts panel.
Wait, 500 milligrams? That's half a gram.
It is.
That is not a trace amount. I mean, if I hand you 499 milligrams of something, you're holding a real quantity in your hand.
Oh, absolutely. It's substantial. But legally, poof, it vanishes.
And what's the classic ingredient that manufacturers have used this rule to just erase from existence?
The one everyone was trying to avoid for years, right? Trans fats. A product can have up to 499 milligrams of trans fats per serving. And the package can still, proudly advertise 0 trans fats.
That's unbelievable.
And it also applies to other things like MSG, monosodium glutamate. As long as they keep the serving size small enough, the MSG legally disappears from the panel.
So the whole system is built to reward them for being confusing,
Yeah.
not for being transparent. But the real genius of it, or, the sinister genius, isn't just the math.
No, it's the psychology.
It's the psychology.
Exactly. Once you, the consumer, see that big, beautiful label screaming sugar-free or fat-free, that critical impulse you have to actually flip the product over and read the tiny ingredients list, it just melts away.
They're counting on that. They want the marketing on the front to completely disarm you.
Completely.
Okay, so let's say we dodge that trick. We actually flip the package over. We're determined to read the ingredients. But that's when the second battle begins, because now you have to translate the list itself.
Right. Welcome to the hidden language of sugar.
I mean, it really is a language.
It is. Beyond just rounding things down, they use this incredibly tricky nomenclature. You could be staring at a list of 5 ingredients and not even realize you're looking at sugar, because there are over 200 different names they can use.
200.
200. They didn't just come up with a few aliases. They had like a whole corporate strategy team dedicated to translating sugar into something that sounds like it came out of a chemistry textbook.
That's a full-time job right there, just keeping track of the synonyms.
And this is where we have to bring in the second critical regulatory gap. This is the one that allows ingredients to be completely left off the label. It's the concept of incidental additives.
Or processing aids.
Or processing aids, exactly.
Yeah.
These are things that are supposedly not related to the final product's flavor or texture, things like solvents, extractors, anti-caking agents. If they make up less than 5% of the final product, they don't have to be declared at all.
Not rounded down to 0.
Yeah.
Just not there.
Just gone.
Yeah.
This is a massive exemption, and it's the precise reason an industrial solvent like hexane, which we will definitely get to, often never appears on a label.
Okay, but before we get to the scary industrial chemicals, let's look at a seemingly innocent ingredient that uses both of these tricks. Maltodextrin.
Ah, yes. Maltodextrin.
It's often classified as a complex carbohydrate. It's used as a filler, especially in supplements. It just sounds boring. It sounds harmless.
It is the wolf in complex carbohydrate clothing. Its behavior in your body is anything but complex. It acts way more like sugar, or actually like a hypersugar.
A hypersugar. How so?
Well, if we look at the glycemic index, the GI, which is just a measure of how fast a food spikes your blood sugar.
Right.
Regular table sugar, sucrose, has a GI of about 74. Maltodextrin can send your blood sugar into the stratosphere with a glycemic index that can go up to 180.
180. That's more than double table sugar.
It raises blood sugar faster than almost anything else you can eat. And it hides on labels using its carbohydrate classification, and it uses the rounding rule to get into products that are supposedly sugar-free.
It's the perfect nutritional imposter.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not alone. You also see these confusing chemical names like isomalto-oligosaccharides. It's classified as a fiber.
Which sounds healthy. Fiber's good.
It sounds great. But chemically, once you eat it, it just acts like sugar. And even if you think you're safe with artificial sweeteners, you have to be careful. Many of them contain hidden amounts of actual sugar, maltodextrin, dextrose.
Dextrose, which is a synthetic sugar.
Exactly. All because the amounts are small enough to use either the rounding rule or that incidental additive exemption. You are getting hit from every side, even when you think you're buying a clean product.
Okay, this brings us to what I think is the most shocking part of this whole thing. If the sugar tricks weren't enough, prepare for the petrochemical bath.
Right.
We have to talk about hexane.
Here's where it gets really interesting and a lot less funny. We went from small amounts of sugar to a byproduct of refining petroleum. How is that possibly allowed to be undeclared?
It's a masterful piece of what you could call regulatory fiction. Hexane is often completely undeclared, but it is in a huge percentage of processed foods, especially plant-based foods.
What even is it?
It's a solvent. It's literally a petrochemical byproduct of refining gasoline.
And how does it get into our food?
That's the chilling part. It's used as an extractor for things like soy protein isolates, which are everywhere, right? Protein bars, veggie burgers, fortified plant-based milks. They quite literally bathe the soybeans in this solvent to separate out the protein.
They bathe them in it.
And the regulatory red flags here are they're immense. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, calls this stuff a neurotoxin. The EPA classifies it as hazardous air pollution.
A neurotoxin.
Yet it can show up in products advertised as all-natural or even organic because the claim is that the solvent completely evaporates during processing.
Which led to some serious corporate fallout, right? I remember companies like Cliff Bar and Kashi, which is owned by Kellogg, they were facing lawsuits.
They were, because they were selling products with hexane residues as all-natural. Their argument was that the amount was just a trace, but the whole point was that people buy organic specifically to avoid industrial chemicals.
Of course. That's a total slap in the face if you're trying to buy clean.
And the loophole, the way they get away with this, is that same classification trick we talked about. They just classify hexane as a processing aid.
An incidental additive.
Exactly. They claim it evaporates, so no regulatory body is required to measure how much we're actually consuming.
So you're trying to buy clean, and you end up with this residual industrial chemical bath that is completely invisible on the label.
So what does this all mean for you, the person standing in the grocery aisle just trying to figure out what to buy?
It means you have to be armed with skepticism, a lot of it. You have to ignore the marketing slogans on the front, the fat-free, the no added sugar, the all-natural. Just ignore it.
And go straight to that tiny ingredients list.
Go straight there and be ready to decipher the 200 different names for sugar.
And are there specific phrases we need to be extra wary of?
Absolutely. Be really suspicious of anything that says no added sugars.
Why that one in particular?
Because while they might not have added simple sucrose, the ingredients list could be jam-packed with high GI sugars, like, say, corn syrup solids, which is just corn syrup that's been dried into a powder.
It's still corn syrup.
It's still corn syrup. Also, if you see a product where the serving size is tiny, like one piece of sugar-free gum or a single packet of sweetener, you can bet the rounding rule is being used to zero out those hidden carbs.
That includes my personal nutritional enigma, the unrefrigerated non-dairy creamer you find at hotel coffee stations.
Oh, those things.
It's labeled sugar-free. It never goes bad. It's like a monument to the incidental additive rule. It defies all laws of nutrition.
That's a very wise assessment. But for anyone who wants to actually fight back, against the hidden starches and maltodextrin, there's a wonderfully simple DIY method you can try.
Okay, a countermeasure. Tell us everything.
It's called the iodine test. And the beauty of it is its simplicity. All you need is povidone iodine, which you can get at any drugstore. It's usually sold as an antiseptic.
Okay, so I have my little brown bottle of iodine. What do I do?
You take a sample of whatever you're testing, a liquid, a powder from a supplement that claims to be sugar-free or carb-free. You add 1 drop of that amber-colored iodine.
And what am I looking for?
Starch and maltodextrin are these big, complex carbohydrate molecules. Iodine only reacts visibly with them, so if the drop stays amber or yellow, you're in the clear. The product is what it says it is.
But if it's not?
If it instantly turns a deep, dark blue or even purple, you found them. You have detected the hidden starches in maltodextrin. It's this powerful, practical way to prove that a product's sugar-free claim was, well, based on a legal fiction, not reality.
That is the ultimate kitchen table hack against the 0 milligram lie. That's amazing.
It really works.
So we've covered the rounding rule. It hides almost half a gram of anything. The hundreds of sugar synonyms that just confuse the eye. And the processing aids that can hide dangerous petrochemicals like hexane. It's a whole system.
It is. It's a complex, multi-layered system that is designed to comply with the law, but not necessarily to be honest with the consumer. And the only defense is to be vigilant and to look past the slogans.
So let's bring it back to that opening paradox. If a company can legally tell you that 450 milligrams is zero, how many other essential truths about your food have just been edited out for convenience?
It makes you wonder.
We trust the label,
Yeah.
or talk to trust the label. But maybe the real lesson here is that the only person who's actually measuring our intake, the only honest auditor in this whole transaction, is us. What else are we consuming right now that legally doesn't exist?